Every sign and every house, a journey starts and we allow the universe so vast and true. AstroViktor, it's here for you.
Hi, my dear Astro family. Today we are going to be talking about the upcoming new moon in Virgo. This is a special one. It is making a bunch of aspects on one hand. Secondly, we are going to be having two new moons in the 7th house. One is on the 23rd of August, and we're going to have one in September as well, but that's going to be an actual eclipse. But today we are talking about this particular new moon coming up in a couple of days. It is making a square to Uranus, a couple of quincunxes, one to Pluto, one to Saturn, Neptune. It involves an asteroid called Odysseus. So it is a super busy new moon. So let me break it down. And then in the second part of the video, I'm going to be also giving you 3 positive and 3 challenging scenarios connected to each rising sign. I recommend listening from the very beginning of the video because this could give you a lot of insights about how to prepare. And then, of course, you might want to be listening to your moon sign or your rising sign, but the forecast I'm preparing is specifically for your rising sign. Now, I recommend signing up to my channel because I am preparing a bunch of videos about 2026. I started it a couple of days ago talking about Jupiter in the sign of Leo. I usually do it in August and September because I want you to be able to prepare. And 2026 is truly magical. There is a lot of changes happening. And if you would like to have a bit more of personal reading, I prepared 2.5 to 3 hour 20-minute videos to each rising sign, which is available for purchase on my website. Or if you want to get even more specific, you can actually book a reading with me. So let's get going. New moon in the sign of Virgo, and this is happening actually on 1 degree of Virgo. And like I said, it makes a bunch of aspects. But I might have forgotten to mention that it is also making a conjunction to an asteroid called Regulus. Not asteroid, sorry, a fixed star called Regulus. Now you might be wondering, Regulus, but I thought it was on 29 degree of Leo. No, it is not. Since 2014-ish, actually, Regulus is in the sign of Virgo. So therefore, it is on 0 degree of Virgo. So there is a tight conjunction happening right now to that Regulus fixed star as well. So in this video, I'm even going to be touching base on that. First of all, let's have a look at what is a new moon. A new moon is about fresh starts, it's about planting the seeds, and it's really about planting the seeds in the sign of Virgo, because Virgo is kind of like an agricultural sign. And the fact that there are so many outer planets and all the slower moving planets are involved, basically what it really does is that it's kind of like showing a change. All the planets, all the big guns, basically Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are introducing changes in our lives. And then, of course, we have got Saturn involved here, which gives structure. So I would say that this is one of the strongest lunations of the year. Now, this is almost on 1 degree. Well, it's half 0.23. So it is a very tight conjunction to that Regulus. But the first new moon marks the beginning of the astrological year, basically for those with a Virgo sun, or even with a Virgo moon or rising sign. It's kind of like a reset point for you. And during new moons, it's a very good idea to set intentions, particularly related to self-improvement, daily routines, organizations. So this lunation can help you to reflect on your health, your wellness goals, get organized and create a more efficient daily routine, start a new project that requires meticulous planning, for example. And this is not a eclipse new moon. We're going to have one later on. But the fact that we have got two new moons happening in the sign of Virgo, you will see that this is going to be super active house of yours in the next 6 months at least. Now, like I said, we're going to have the solar eclipse happening as well around the 21st of September. And that's going to be more potent, more transformative. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, blocking the sun's light and casting a shadow on earth. Usually, eclipses are major catalysts for changes and fated events. So, this might be even connected to work and career path, health and habits, or your sense of service to others. But we are going to be talking about that eclipse, of course, next month. So, this new moon, let's go a little bit more specific. What is a Virgo new moon good for? Well, establishing new routines. Virgo energy is meticulous and analytical. Use this time to create new health habits, maybe a fitness plan, a new work schedule, or a more efficient daily routine. Get organized with it. So we can declutter your physical space, such as your home, your office. We can tidy up the filing cabinet, or you can declutter your mind as well, especially because this new moon is in a very tight square to Uranus in the sign of Gemini. So, cleaning out your closet, organizing your files, getting a head start on year end planning, for example, all these are super good period for that. Like I said, we can focus on health and wellness industry as well. So maybe let's say you want to be losing weight or you are focusing on your mental well-being. Virgo is the ninth expression of Mercury, so there is a lot of self-doubt could be happening here. There is a lot of subconscious thoughts which might be blocking out some type of positivity in your life. Or you can make improvements in your work and career as well, like productivity, refining work and life balance, making practical steps towards your professional goals, or we can apply for a new job, or we can pitch a new project as well. And self improvement. I think this is a super important keyword here. Uh, Virgo wants to correct things, it wants to make things better. So, this new moon might invite you to reflect on what you can do to become a more aligned, more authentic version of yourself. Maybe some of the challenges that might be popping up with this new moon, or let's call them the pitfalls, one of them is the perfectionism and self criticism. So, because we want to improve things, that could quickly turn into a critical inner voice. And, you are not happy with the progress, your appearance, your habits. So, the challenge here is to embrace imperfection and to accept that it's okay not to be perfect because everything is work in progress. Also, we can feel super anxious and overwhelmed as well because there's that meticulous side to Virgo, which has got the tendency to overthink things or feeling anxious about something because there is so many details to attend to. You can easily can get scattered or stressed out, especially again because Uranus is part of it. So, it's not about getting bogged down. Maybe you need to remember to breathe. Uranus in Gemini. Sometimes it's a deep breath and then the solution comes to us. Uranus is the planet of intuitive hit, so you can have these mental breakthroughs and then all of a sudden you find solutions to any type of challenges. And also, there could be sudden unexpected changes happening as well. So, because it forms that 10 square to Uranus, which is the planet of sudden shifts and surprises, it can bring a sense of unpredictability. So, you might feel pulled between, order and or making a radical change in your life as well. Now, let's just move a little bit forward with that because it really feels like that some of the scenarios that I can imagine overall is like unexpected breakthroughs um, at work. There is this 10 square between the Virgo new moon and the Uranus in Gemini that can bring like that out of box solution to a long standing problem at work. An idea that seemed too radical before, but now it is somehow embraced. So, therefore, it is leading to a professional breakthrough. Imagine that there are like chaos going on at work, maybe certain type of miscommunications, and I'm trying to fix that miscommunication, but maybe it leads to certain type of like more hurdles. Also, this could indicate transformative healing and growth as well. I mean, this new moon is in quincunx to Pluto, and quincunx is something that is awkward. So this could indicate, or this could push you to let go of toxic habits and routines because they are no longer serving me. Or this shift that is happening, for example, in your body or at work, could feel super fated as well. Maybe this is a psychological transformation, leaving you feel more empowered and in control of your own life as well. There could be a lot of spiritual insights for your daily life also, because this new moon quincunx Saturn and Neptune. So it's about finding potentially practical ways to integrate your spiritual practices into your daily life. And you might even feel a call to find practical applications for your dreams. Saturn and Neptune is the dream maker combination. And in the sign of Aries, which represents initiations, but also the self, the vitality, something to do with the courage. So it is an invitation to be able to get going towards your, let's say, work or dream body and so forth. There is a lot of new beginnings involved in this chart. There's even a Sesky square happening between the new moon and Ceres. Ceres is in the sign of Aries also. Sesky quadrate is a minor aspect, 135-degree aspect, but this might be showing that, because Ceres is something to do with self-care and also our attachment styles. Ceres has just gone retrograde recently. So on one hand, this might be a revisitation of your attachment styles, of your own needs, having to express who I am. So again, this might, because series is something to do with food. So it might be an indication that you are ready to start a new health routine, a new creative project that brings you that sense of satisfaction and growth. But we must remember, because Saturn is involved, Virgo involved, Ceres is retrograde, and then all the planets involved are basically slow moving. So small steps, and potentially there will be big results. And that might be the message behind the semi-square that we've got to Jupiter. A semi-square is a 45-degree angle, and Jupiter is about big dreams, growth, but Virgo says we're gonna have to look at every, like, minute details of that, life. So we're gonna have to focus on the small steps, baby steps. We're gonna have to make these incremental improvements, and then we can start the big, like, incoming success, for example, or changes. Of course, there is the potential to get disappointed that it is a lot slower than expected. Maybe some of the challenging part of things is that, like I said, there could be a lot of anxiety and sudden disruptions to your plans with Uranus square. So because Uranus is the planet of disruption, so disruptions at work or in your health, or an unexpected change in your work environment. Maybe it's a technical glitch and then your laptop gets wiped out, for example, or the plan is not necessarily coming together and then I'm anxious about it. I feel like I'm out of control, and that's Pluto being involved as well, because the quincunxes are all about adjustments, usually uncomfortable adjustments. So there might be some power struggles going down in your life. maybe with a boss, a family member, a friend. It highly depends on where new moon falls in your in your natal chart. But also with Pluto, which can reveal hidden issues or secrets that demand a radical change. Uranus pretty much speeds things up. So it can feel like that, it can feel like unease, being at unease or being unmoved. Also, maybe feeling unmotivated and confused as well. And that could be the Saturn Neptune. Saturn can be very lethargic, melancholic, and the Neptune is the planet of fog. So it's a mental fog. It's a confusion, making it difficult to feel motivated to get your everyday stuff done. Maybe it's because I don't see the purpose behind it. Or maybe because your practical efforts are not yielding the results that you desire. And then with Neptune, it's very easy to want to give up on things. Maybe you want to nurture yourself because we've got that sesquiquadrate to series as well, but it is difficult to nurture myself and take care of my own needs when I've got so much going on in my life, a lot on my plate, you know, or simply what you are doing doesn't feel authentic at all. Maybe I don't fully believe in it, and that could be the Jupiter Sesqui square as well. Maybe it's difficult for you to find healthy relationship with your food or your body as well. So imagine that you are on a diet and then you're having to eat salad. I would go nuts because I'm not a salad person. I'm a meat and rice type of person. So if someone forces the salad down on my throat, I'm like, I hate diet. I want to give up. I want to walk away from it. So Virgo, therefore, it can indicate certain type of burnout as well. So moving a little bit forward, because this new moon, like I said, it conjuncts Regulus. And Regulus is one of the four royal stars. It's a fixed star. And it is called fixed star because ancient people used to think that fixed stars do not move. But now we do know that average fixed stars are moving 1 degree every 72 years. Some stars slightly bit faster, sometimes some stars are actually a lot slower. So it ranges somewhere between 45 to 120 years, but the average somewhere is around 72. And Regulus represents power, success, honor, fame, but with a warning sign. So Regulus is in the heart of the lion. This is basically the little king archetype. This is the brightest star in the constellation of Leo. And for many centuries, it's been associated with dignity, royalty, leadership, but also hunger for power as well. So it is about someone who rises to fame, but it comes with a condition. You must avoid revenge, pride, or arrogance, or everything has to be treated with integrity, and then the star will reward you. If there is abuse of power, for example, then basically it can represent falling from um grace. So to put Regulus into this new moon, on one hand, it's a destined new chapter in our lives, in our career, in our public life, in relationship departments. Again, depending on the house position, you have got the opportunity to step into a leadership role and receive recognition for that work. Also, this is about, like I said, Virgo has got the desire to do self improvement, and it's kind of like I'm the queen, I'm the king type of energy. So I feel regal, I feel strong. I have got the drive to become the best version of myself. And that's why I'm doing all that inner work or even external work, maybe on my skills, on my habits. A success comes through integrity. So you can kind of create an empire of success, for example, based on service, but humility and hard work as well. So Virgo is diligent, it's practical efforts, and then it can be rewarded with a surprising amount of respect. Maybe the challenging side is the perfectionist king. So, because I've got this very strong desire for honor, can lead to, being overly critical with others. So, judging others harshly, becoming obsessed with an ideal that failed to see what's right in front of you. Regulus can represent the ego, basically. So, it can be like entitlement. You might need to be able to put your pride aside. Maybe you feel like that your achievements or hard work give you the right to be arrogant, and therefore it can lead to public downfall. And it also feels like that this is like a major test of this character. It's like the universe is watching whether how you deal with power, or whether it's an abuse of power, Pluto, or you use your own power for, in a way, a greater good. So, and then we've got Odysseus, asteroid Odysseus in the picture as well. And I forgot to check the astrological number of Odysseus. So, sorry about that. Give me a second. And I'm gonna do that because on one hand you might want to be looking at where Odysseus is in your own chart. I mean, I did look at it, but I forgot to write down for myself. It's 1143. 1143. So if you would like to check it out where it is, then in your natal chart, and do let me know in the comment box below. Because let me tell you a couple of things about Odysseus. I mean, maybe he doesn't even need introduction. Odysseus was the central figure in the Homer's epic poem, The Odyssey, and he is known for his resourcefulness, cunning, and endurance. His story is a long, arduous journey home after the Trojan War, filled with trials, temptations, betrayal. So some of the keywords that comes with Odysseus is the long journey home. It's basically the archetype of the hero's journey, a long and a challenging path, filled with obstacles, both internal and external. There is a wit and the cunning to it. He's not a hero of brute force like Achilles, but a master of strategies and disguise. So he uses his intelligence to overcome seemingly impossible odds. And this is also where Uranus could be coming into the picture in the sign of Gemini. Do we use our intuitive hits? Do we use our wit and potentially sarcasm? Are we trying to like laugh at certain type of mistakes that we make, or we are getting nervous about those? So Odysseus was all about getting home, so he represents endurance and perseverance as well. And how interesting that this new moon makes a quincunx to Saturn, which is also the planet of endurance and perseverance also. So obviously he endures for years to be able to get back to his home and his family. He demonstrated all the ability to withhold, immense suffering on that road because he had a motivation. So ask yourself this question with this new moon: what am I motivated about? What do I need to fix in my life? Because there is Pluto involved here, Uranus involved here, Neptune and Saturn involved here. We can make our dreams come true. Jupiter and Neptune being involved means that we just have to have a vision. So, and maybe it's a new project that you are about to start, but that might require a bit of a cunning, like strategy or careful planning, of course. Your intellectual skills are should be sharp, and they can navigate you through any type of difficult situations. Or maybe it's about returning to your center. What truly matters to me could be a core question with this new moon. Maybe you have neglected a passion of yours, a healthy routine that worked for you before. And we might have got lost somehow with Neptune, um, being in the picture. And now we're just gonna have to return to it because that potentially might have worked for you. Also, maybe this is about mastering certain type of details. So, like Odysseus had a plan, Virgo is very meticulous. So if there is any type of complex task, for example, then it's kind of like the step-by-step logic, a careful consideration, and of course the determination that we need. All these ingredients should lead you to success. And maybe the challenging side of this could be that, the journey is difficult. And guess what? The journey is difficult. When there are all the outer planets involved in a lunation, even if it was super mega good aspects, the journey is difficult. There is burden there. And it feels like that, yeah, but it takes ages. All these efforts for maybe a little payback, I'm not too sure if I want to do that. The journey is super tiresome. But the big, like, reward is pretty much just potentially maybe with this new moon is just coming in about 18 to 27 month time. And Odysseus was a bit of a trickster as well, though. So he might be using some tricks, and then you're gonna have to pay the consequences for it. Or maybe you even feel like a stranger in this world or in your own life. Maybe you feel disconnected from your mundane task and responsibilities and overall your life as well. And maybe it's kind of like I wanna be somewhere else. Or maybe you are a traveler from far from home. And I feel alienated, Uranus. I feel rootless, Uranus, Neptune. So I cannot settle down. So, in the world, how it feels like is that there could be some political shifts and scandals. I mean, Regulus does represent politicians, it's royalty power. With Uranus, sudden shifts. So it's a political event potentially that either elevates a new leader to power or brings about a very dramatic fall from grace. Maybe with Odysseus being part of it is something cunning, strategic move by a political figure, and somehow kind of like I'm trying to outsmart someone, but not in a fair way. There could be technological breakthroughs with this as well, of course, as well as failures. So, it's because Virgo represents system. So somehow we are revolutionizing a technological system here, but maybe there are some glitches happening with them, system failures. So, like, think of highly efficient AI for data analysis, that is suddenly introduced, and but there is a major network outage, for example, or a cybersecurity breach, and maybe a country may find you know, like themselves in this long journey about their new identity. Maybe it's a new government that is about to be introduced, and maybe it comes with a lot of sacrifice, a lot of endurance to reach the goal. But this country might become like they might have a dignified position on the world stage at one point, and that would be Regulus. Or in the medical field, I can imagine new diagnostic methods and tools, or I can imagine more focus on practical wellness. I can imagine systematic disruptions in healthcare industries, on pharmaceutical companies also. I can actually imagine that there is sudden out of the blue medicine that is going to be discovered for a rare type of disease, which is going to be changing our opinion about medical interventions completely. Or Virgo represents service industries, uniform related works. So maybe it's about like rethinking labor and service. So maybe it's conversations about the value of the service work. We know there is a struggle there, right? Restaurants, and it's not easy to find a handyman and all those type of stuff. So there might be a lot of talk about that as well. Or maybe it's just better working condition, higher wages, more dignified energies to these professionals. And maybe with the Regulus, hopefully, we're gonna have like this champion of the people who, try to talk about the rights of service workers. There could be a lot of innovation happening in efficiency as well. New system, a process, technology is introduced. That dramatically improves the efficiency of the service industry. Of course, with Uranus square, it might indicate that communities do not like it. It feels threatening with Pluto. So what about our jobs? Am I going to get dismissed? So it can lead to being worried. And Virgo represents military service as well. So we might see some, a military power introducing some new highly strategic plan, or a new technological piece, or it's a surprising military maneuver, or I can imagine kind of like this technological warfare as well. So technology in conflict, it's like the rise of the machines, a bit of a Terminator basically. And maybe I can even imagine changes to military protocols. Virgo represents animals and agriculture. So there could be new farming techniques. I mean, remember, Ceres is also in the sign of Aries, and Ceres represents farming too. There could be disease outbreaks as well, something unexpected, unexpected animal disease, or a crop, that is maybe not responding too well for some technological stuff. And there could be a lot of focus on animal welfare as well, which I also feel like that would be actually super, in like super good anyway. Okay, and yeah, I think we have mentioned everything that needs to be known about this new moon, so maybe it's time to break it down for all 12 signs. I'm just going to switch off the camera so that you can focus on your chart, and we can look at a few scenarios what might be happening. So let's get going with Aries rising sign. I mean, the new moon is taking place in your sixth house, which is the house of health, work, and daily routines. So maybe it's time to decide to adapt a new fitness plan. And maybe after a few weeks of consistent effort, you are actually surprised, Uranus, by how energized and focused you feel. Let's say at work, or the changes that you make in your body, Saturn in the first house. And this leads to a major boost in your productivity, and you are recognized for all your diligence. And that's Regulus. Or imagine that you have been struggling with a chronic health issue, and then after a long period of trying different remedies, you find this new unconventional treatment, Uranus, Saturn, Neptune in the first house, that helps you significantly to feel better. And of course, this is requiring you to be very disciplined with this daily routine, and that would be Saturn. The struggle comes from Pluto. Or let's imagine that there is a chaotic situation at work, Uranus, Pluto, and you suddenly able to find a solution to it. And maybe you propose just a very simple, well thought out solution, Virgo. And the efficiency, Virgo, of your solutions earns you praise from your boss and maybe colleagues. And maybe it can lead to promotions. And that's Regulus. Maybe this a challenging side of this is that maybe there is an unexpected software glitch at your office causing a long, like system crash, disrupting your entire work schedule, creating chaos, and you feel overwhelmed by the lack of order, and maybe it's difficult to get things done. Or maybe you get obsessed with a new diet and exercise plan, and then you are overly critical of yourself for even a small deviation from it, and then I'm anxious. So this perfectionism can, turn into self-sabotage and just keep worrying about, let's say, your health. Or let's imagine that we've got a new coworker, and this coworker comes with a lot of new ideas, but maybe their methods are in conflict with yours. So this could create a work like tension leading to some type of power struggles, Pluto. And somehow it's uncomfortable and I have to adjust something and it even a source of stress. Okay, Taurus rising sign. The new moon is taking place in your fifth house, the house of creativity, romance, self-expression. Um, and this could indicate that you have been working on a creative project, maybe painting or writing, and maybe you get somehow praised by an influential person, and it feels like an honor. It validates your hard work. Or imagine that you are coming up with a plan for your next holiday and all your meticulous preparation pays off, and this is going to be a big hit. Or maybe a new romantic interest comes into your life, surprising you. Maybe you are planning a date night with that person, and you see a lot of potentials that something can grow here. Some of the challenging scenarios is that it could be an argument, for example, with a significant other or a child. Maybe this is a conflict over a really minor detail, and then it escalates into a major fight. And therefore, I feel unsettled, emotionally drained. Or maybe you feel this huge pressure to create a perfect piece of art or a performance, but I'm feeling creatively blocked. I don't know how to do that, how to get there. And it is because the fear of failure might have taken over, or you have set really high standards, and all those can paralyze you. Or maybe you don't feel secure by your romantic connection, um, because let's say they are so perfect. So self-doubt could be coming up here, like thinking that I'm not good enough, or basically I'm out of character. And then you can sabotage all this connection. Okay, Gemini rising sign, we have got the new moon happening in your fourth house, the house of family, foundation, oh, excuse me, and home environment. So some of the good stuff that I can imagine here is that you decide to do a spring clean, a deep clean of your home. You're gonna organize, everything is gonna have a system in place, and it makes you feel grounded, secure. And maybe it's something that you haven't done for a very long time because Odysseus would represent a long journey. Also, maybe a family member who offers you to help with a problem that you have been struggling with for a while. And this feels good, right? It's an unexpected support with Uranus being there, but it feels like that they care for me. And that's the series element.
Or maybe you're gonna start a new routine at home, like for the chores or a schedule or, when to eat the dinner and so forth. And therefore the household can be running more smoothly. Therefore, we reduce the stress. Maybe challenging scenarios is that there could be family secrets coming to light, creating some chaos, conflicts within the home, and therefore it could lead to a loss of security, or it could feel like that there is a lot of emotions boiling within me, Uranus, and I don't know what to do with those, emotions. Or maybe there are some structural issues with your house. Maybe it's an appliance that breaks down. Maybe it requires a lot of money. Jupiter in the second house. Maybe I'm trying to fix it, but potentially I might make it worse as well. Or I want to be the hero of the family, but it is a lot of responsibility. It feels like it's a burden. So I feel burnt out basically. And it feels like that the journey that I am on is, it's like too difficult. Maybe it's about the fact that people you live together with are not helping you. Okay, Cancer rising sign. We've got the new moon happening in your third house, which is the house of learning, short trips, communications, siblings. So I can imagine that you are ready to put a presentation together. You do your research, you're planning this out. You get the support as well, let's say from your colleagues or superiors or siblings, and you are somehow feeling confident in your communication skills. Or you might decide to take a short trip to a new place, and then you are just planning this out to kind of find balance and peace in your life. Maybe you are, because it's a short trip, you are planning out every single minute of it just to make sure that you can fit everything in. Or you are about to take a new course, and the information that you receive there is kind of like making perfect sense. And therefore, it's about building your skills, mastering skills. And maybe you do that because you want to start a new career. And maybe it's essential for you to master certain type of skills. Now, some of the challenging scenarios is that we can get into heated arguments with siblings, neighbors, a close friend. This could indicate misunderstandings. And the conflict can escalate quite quickly. And therefore, I feel emotionally exhausted. Or maybe let's imagine that you go on that short trip and then the car breaks down on the way there. And then I'm so stressed. And maybe I have to be changing my plans completely. Or maybe you are getting caught up in a gossip or someone is spreading information, something that is inaccurate, of course. And therefore, this might become a source of a conflictual scenario. Leo rising sign. So we've got the new moon happening in your second house, which is the house of money, value, possessions. So maybe you have been working on a new budget or a financial plan, and then you get a sudden bonus, for example, an unexpected job opportunity. So therefore, this new income gives you more security. Maybe you even feel like an honor to work for this company or to get through on those interviews. Now, potentially, I can also imagine that you sell something that you no longer need. And of course, it brings in money, maybe more than you expected. And maybe I can also imagine that you are planning to ask for some pay rise. Maybe some of the challenging scenarios that I can imagine with this is that, yeah, there could be an unexpected like expense coming up, maybe a medical bill or a car repair or maybe even insurance. And I'm stressed how I'm going to pay that bill. Or you get into an argument with a friend or a family member over money or possessions. Or you make a impulsive, financially irresponsible purchase, hoping that this would improve your life, but we might regret that decision. Virgo rising sign, new moon is in your first house, house of identity, the self, the appearance, in a way, the house of choices. So it might be about reventing of who you are, changing your style, your haircut, your professional look. This new appearance is maybe coming with a lot of praise, a lot more attention and validation from others. Now, that is uh, Regulus. And maybe you're ready to take the lead in your own life. So to become more confident, feeling better in your own skin. You might, start a new health routine, but it makes you feel stronger, more energized. Maybe you are even feeling good that you are able to keep up or hold or stick with this new routine. Or maybe it's a new prominent role that is about to enter your life, coming your way. Maybe it's a work-related opportunity with Uranus in the 10, and you feel useful, valued. Challenging scenarios could be that you are forced to reevaluate who you are, what you stand for. And there could be a lot of confusion and self-doubt, whether I'm on the right path, what to do. You can become the worst critic of yourself as well, like being so obsessed with every little details and, appearance or your performance. So I'm paralyzed. I'm afraid to take action because I'm not perfect. Or you can get into public argument or even face public humiliation or embarrassment over a slight mistake that you made. Imagine at work, the boss is, screaming your head off for making a mistake in front of other colleagues. It hurts. Regulus, the pride. Libra rising sign. Well, this new moon is happening in your 12th house, the house of ending, spirituality, the subconscious, hidden matters in your life. So I can imagine that maybe you have a dream, a spiritual experience, and that gives you clear insight into your fears, your subconscious issues. And because you have got a new understanding, it is helping you to heal, to find um, inner peace. Or maybe you discover this new unconventional healing practice or a therapist who helps you work through a traumatic experience. Or, it feels like, what, I'm a hero because I'm on the journey of this self-discovery, so we can enjoy it. And maybe a secret that you have been carrying for a very long time is finally released. It's out in the open, basically. So you feel like that a weight is lifted off of your shoulders. And what does it mean? We're going to be able to move forward. Maybe negatively, we can discover that, a friend or a coworker or a partner who has been gossiping about us. And I feel betrayed. I feel confused. I thought we were one item. Or we can be anxious, paranoid, feeling lonely. It's mentally unstable. It's the struggle of finding a sense of peace. And maybe it's because I don't know where my life is leading. My life is meaningless. Or maybe even you can feel this urge to run away, to escape from reality. And you might end up just engaging in unhealthy habits or behaviors because I want to avoid something. You want to feel the void. Scorpio rising sign. You're gonna have the new moon happening in your 11th house. Maybe, which is the house of friendships, goals, groups, hopes. So you might join a new organization, you meet a new friend, and they feel like we were meant to meet. Maybe you're gonna become somehow a leader of a project in a group setting. Maybe you organize a fundraiser, a community event that becomes successful and then it gains you attention. Or somehow you're working potentially on bringing people together. Or you are planning the future. And your plans are kind of coming together, and then I finally start seeing fruition there. And of course, it's satisfying. Challenging scenarios that I can imagine is that we can get into arguments with a close friend, maybe over a minor detail. I feel betrayed. There's this shocking revelation that damages potentially the trust you had towards this person. So you emotionally isolate. Uranus in the 8th house. Or maybe you are part of a team and there is conflict going on there, or changes in the leadership, and it leads to chaos. Or maybe you have been struggling with a project that requires collaboration, because maybe you feel like that your teammates are not paying attention to, they are not goal orientated, and I'm frustrated about them. Sagittarius rising sign, we're gonna have the new moon in your 10th house, house of career, public image, reputation, achievements. So maybe you have been working on this new professional project. Maybe you are going to get publicly recognized for it. Maybe it's bringing you new opportunities, a new level of honor, a respect in your field. So promotion, a new job title, a public award, you can expect with it. Or maybe you are taking on a challenging new job, which requires a lot of endurance. But you also know that this is fulfilling, it's leading me somewhere. Or you get this unexpected job offer, and maybe it fits your skills perfectly. And the challenging part of this could be is that a minor mistake that we made at work and then it causing a public nightmare or a stain pretty much on your reputation. And I'm stressed about it. Or you get into a heated argument with your boss or a person in position. And maybe again, the conflict is just over a minor detail that escalates. And maybe it feels like that it's ruining my reputation. Or I can imagine that you just feel lost what I want to do with my career. I don't know what my next move is, but I feel the pressure to create this perfect professional path, and I'm anxious about it. Capricorn rising sign. Wow, you have got the new moon happening in your 9th house. Education, travel, philosophy, opinions. So maybe you have been studying hard and you have got this sudden breakthrough. You start understanding this complex subject. The pieces are basically the pieces of the puzzles are coming together. And maybe you are about to take on a course, a more prestigious academic journey. Maybe you plan a long distance trip or a relocation as well. Maybe you want to be traveling by car, for example, and that's the long journey there. Or maybe you connect with a new person who has a very different worldview from yours, but this person is challenging your own beliefs in a positive way, of course. There's a lot of like new ways of understanding things, wisdom gained here. The challenging side is that maybe this trip or this academic plan is disrupted. Maybe it's by political events, work, unforeseen natural disasters, logistical matters, something that is out of your control, basically. Or you can get into arguments with someone from a different culture or with someone who has got very different philosophical views. And of course, you feel frustrated because we all feel that we are right. Or maybe you get this new piece of information and then it challenges your long-held beliefs. So I'm going to start struggling to believe, to have faith. Aquarius rising sign. So you have got the new moon in your eighth house, the house of shared resources, intimacy, transformation, psychological renewal. So maybe there has been a financial negotiation or a legal issue going on for a while, and then it finally gets resolved. And then you get money inheritance. And of course, Regulus would represent victory there, even Odysseus, because he got home. Maybe you and your partner decide to be honest, to sit down and to talk about a difficult topic in your life. And that brings the two of you closer so we can trust each other again. And maybe there is a gain, financial gain, inheritance, or a gift. And that gives you more power, more security. And potentially because I was consistent or patient or endurance, or I even took care of someone. Maybe challenging part of it is could be, a financial decision that was made, and I feel betrayed or financially vulnerable now, and I'm stressed. Or maybe it's difficult for you to trust others. And I want to be hiding my vulnerabilities, my secrets, but I need to come across as being perfect. Or maybe you get into a fight with a partner over household chores, financial decisions. Maybe it's over a tiny little thing, but it escalates. It gets out of control. And last but not least, Pisces rising sign. So this new moon is falling into your seventh house, which is a new business partnership potentially, and then it's powerful. Maybe it's a new romantic connection and you feel inspired. You are treated like a queen or a king. Maybe there have been challenges in your relationship, in your existing relationship. And then we sit down and we have got this honest conversation and that clears the air. So now I understand, where things have gone wrong. So we can rebuild the relationship. Maybe it's all about starting a new project together with someone, and then we are kind of like sharing responsibilities. We are paying attention to the little details. So working together closely. Negatively speaking, this could indicate that, a business partnership or a connection gets questioned out of the blue. Maybe it's because of a shocking piece of revelation, a piece of information, or a sudden change of hearts. Someone might break up with us, moves out of our home. Or maybe you get into an argument with your partner, again over little details. And the desire for perfection could be a cause of it. Or maybe you have been on this journey with your partner and it feels heavy. Maybe it's frustration, and we start thinking whether it's worth to get there. How is the destination look like? And you might feel tired or discouraged. So, guys, this is the new moon in Virgo forecast. I hope it helps. Please share the video, press like, subscribe to the channel. And if you are interested in more, you can check out my membership program and you can get your yearly forecast report as well for 2026 so you can understand your life better. Have a great week, everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Through every sign and every house, a journey starts and we allow the universe so vast and true. Astro Viktor, it's here for you.